All right, this is lesson 2.2. Still a lot of variables and patterns. Looking at a lesson called Finding Customers. We're going to learn how to better analyze a coordinate graph, and we're going to graph data to answer questions. We're going to graph a table, answer questions using the graph. So let's go. So we're picking a price. A spa sent out a survey to find out how much people would pay for a relaxing day at the spa. The data they collected is in the table below. So we're going to create a coordinate graph from the table. So first off, we're going to steal the title. So price, customers, would pay. Now we have our variables. We have the total price, we have the number of customers. Well, in this case, the total price is the independent because the variable on the left in a table is always the independent. So total price, and that means customers, is on the side. Now, total price start at 0. We have to go all the way up to 600. Well, if we're counting that high, we're not going to count by ones, we're not going to count by tens. I would suggest you count by hundreds. So 100, 200, and I'm going to stagger them just so we can fit them in. 300, 400, 500, 600. We can count more. We don't have to. 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Now, number of customers start at 0. Highest number over there is 76. So I'm going to count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And now we're ready to go. A price of $150 has 76 customers. So 150 is right there. All the way up to 76, about right there. $200, 74, about right there. 250 is 71, right there. 300 is 65. 350 is 59. $400 is 49. 450 is 38. 500 is 26. 550 is 14. And it's not going to let me put a dot there. 600 is 0. And there, that's my dot. All right, so price customers would pay. Let's go ahead and connect these. And there's our graph. Looks a little bit different than ones we've been doing up to this point, and there's a reason for that. We're going to see that in a minute. Now, what is the relationship between the total price and the number of customers? Well, we know that total price is the independent, and number of customers is the dependent. So as the total price went up, the number of customers went what? Well, total price goes up. Number of customers looks like it goes down. That's new. Notice how it changes what the graph looks like. Why do you think the number of customers goes down as the price goes up? It's pretty logical. The more you charge for something, the less people can buy it. So the higher the price, the less people want to come. Oops, I'm writing in the thick font. So let's write in the thinner one so it's more legible. All right, what price would you charge and why? Let's go back to our graph. In this one, it's up to you. Personally, I would not charge $600 because no one's going to come to your business. I would probably not charge $150 because while a ton of people are coming, you're not getting much money. I'd probably charge somewhere in the middle. How about a nice round $400? So I'm going to charge $400 because it's in the middle. And that's a good enough answer. The only wrong answers would probably be the lowest price and the highest price. You can probably justify any of the other answers. Alright, practice problems. Let's say you need to rent a truck to move all of your stuff to your new mansion you just bought. You check prices at 2 truck rental companies. Use the information to answer questions 1 through 4. Now, Rocky Mountain Trucks charges $5 for every mile you drive. High Plains Truck charges $40 to start with and then $2 every mile after that. Fill in the table below about Rocky Mountain Trucks. So Rocky Mountain Trucks, miles up top, we have to fill in the cost. Now, Rocky Mountain Trucks charges $5 for every mile. So 0 miles, we've not paid anything yet. 20 miles. Well, 20 times 5 is 100. $5 for every mile. 40 times 5 is 200. Now notice, we are going to count by hundreds. Once you have that pattern, you can count up the rest of the way. You don't have to keep on multiplying. Now, fill in the table below about High Plains Trucks. This one's a little bit trickier because at 0 miles, the cost is $40. Because if we look up here, High Plains Trucks charges $40 to start. That comes in first. And then $2 every mile after that. So, 20 times 2 is 40. However, we need to add that to this. 40 plus 40 is 80. We are going to count by 40s. 120, 160, 200, 240, 280, 320, 360, 400. Alright. Notice that little change. If there's a price at the start, it goes at the start and gets added in. Let's answer some questions about this. Graph both tables on the same coordinate graph. Alright, so the title, you can just pick one from either one, but it's both of them are going to be combined. So let's just say truck fees or truck cost. Truck cost works. Now, miles is going to be our independent variable because it changes how much your cost is. Now, we have to look at both the tables when it comes to making the scale. So I'm going to bounce back to the tables. Miles goes all the way up to 180 on both of them, so that's okay. We're going to count by 20s. Whoops, wrong way. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. Now, cost. Highest cost here is 900, highest cost here is 400. We have to go with the highest number. So if I have to count to 900, I'm going to count by hundreds. 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and that's as high as we have to go. Now, here's how we're going to tell the two graphs apart. So we have Rocky Mountain Trucks and High Plains Trucks. Rocky Mountain Trucks, I'm going to put in green. And High Plains, I'm going to put in blue. That way I can tell them apart. So Rocky Mountain's going to be first. Rocky Mountain, we have 0, 0, and then we count by hundreds after that. So 0, 0 is right here. Notice we're counting by hundreds. We made it easy, so it's going to be on the diagonals. There's our graph for Rocky Mountain. High Plains is going to be a little bit trickier. At 0, we're at 40, and then we count by 40s after that. So 0, we're at 40. count by 40s. So 80, 120, 160, 200, 240, 280, 320, 360, 400. Now, I want you to notice that our two lines have crossed. They cross at the point where one becomes a better deal. So next question, we're going to talk about that. Which company do you think is the best deal? Well, it looks like Rocky Mountain is the lowest price up until like 10 miles, that's all. So, Rocky Mountains is the best price until 10 miles. After that, High Plains is the best price. So even though High Plains started out higher, in the end it's the lower price and a lot lower. Look how much lower that is. If you need to go 180 miles, you're saving about 500 bucks. All right, let's go back through the worksheet, make sure we've covered it all, not left anything blank. So we were going to analyze coordinate graphs, we're going to graph data, answer questions, that's the common theme. We had our table, we graphed our table into a coordinate graph. We answered the question about the relationship. We talked about why the price changed the way it did. What price would you charge? We looked at a comparison of two truck rental companies. We graphed them both on the same coordinate graph, and then we answered a question about which one's the best deal and talked about where it crossed. This is the end of lesson 2.2. Up next is lesson 2.3, still in variables and patterns.